We begin tonight with the death of a 24-year-old woman who died in South Auckland in the early hours of yesterday morning. Police say it was likely that Arishma Chand was killed by someone close to her. She was killed shortly after arriving home from a night out with her boyfriend in the early hours of the morning. Eva Corlett went to Manurewa today to speak to Neighbours.
The family home where Ms Chand lived with her parents and 3-year-old daughter is tucked down a driveway off suburban Maitch Road. It's closely flanked by Neighbours and a childcare centre where children the same age as her daughter are playing in the sun. Birds are warbling above, a bus hisses to a stop and labourers roll by in their trucks. It's difficult to imagine the horror that happened here in the early hours of Sunday morning. Ms Chand, who had been at a party, came home with her boyfriend at about 1:45. Her boyfriend then left, and shortly after she called her parents because she was frightened that someone was outside. When her parents returned home just 20 minutes later, they found their daughter dead in a bedroom. A neighbour says Ms Chand's mother came out into the driveway crying, "Murder, murder."
I opened the door and daughter, which one died, her mother was crying very loudly and I have no words to what to say.
The neighbour, who wishes to remain anonymous, says that she has shared Diwali festivals and children's birthdays with the family.
It was very tough night and it would like when those things happen you get scared. You don't know what's gonna be happen next. They were lovely persons, always smiling one. Even when I look at that side, I feel like cry. Especially because my kitchen is straight to them. When I go in the kitchen, I feel like I'm gonna be crying. It's very sad.
The neighbour says she doesn't feel safe in her home. Another neighbour, Gordon Gallup, was shaken to hear the death was so close to home.
We always said hello over the fence, and I went over to their house sometimes, to meet the family. She was a really friendly lady, I think quite involved in the community. It's been a very big shock to us. Like, we still feel very safe living here, or I do. It's just a sad situation, really.
Detective Inspector Gary Lendrum says it's likely Ms Chand knew the attacker and let them into the house.
There is no sign of forced entry to the address. The interior of the address has not been disturbed in any way. We are following a number of lines of inquiry into a number of persons that are associated with Arishma.
Mr Lendrum says Ms Chand, a childcare worker, has been separated from her husband for a number of years. Ms Chand's child was in his custody over the weekend and not present during the killing.
Her ex-husband has come and spoken to us, as have a number of relatives. We'll be following up on where those persons were over the next couple of days.
Mr Lendrum wouldn't discuss whether her current relationship has ever been violent, but he said Ms Chand's partner left the address after dropping her home and has been cooperative with police. Mr Lendrum stressed that this was likely a targeted attack.
I don't believe that this is a random attack. I believe that the answer is a lot closer to home, and I don't think the community needs to be fearful that there is an intruder out there that is wandering around that area.
Mr Lendrum says no one has been arrested yet. He says police will be trawling CCTV footage from local businesses over the next few days and urges anyone who may have noticed anything that night to contact them. I Manurewa, mo te hōtaka o te ahiahi, ko Eva Corlett, tēnei.